Now we're going to continue with the review for quiz 3C on page 20. So, we're going to do number 10. Now, for number 10, we have two choices. We want to get rid of the fractions, but the question is, can I get rid of the fractions by distributing, or do I have to multiply by a common denominator? So, looking here, 1/2 of 2x is x and 1/2 of 8 is 4. It looks like I can clear this equation of fractions by distributing. So I do 1/2 times 2x is x, 1/2 times 8 is 4. Now here I have to be careful, this is negative. So if I do 3/4 times 4 over 1, the 4's cancel, but this is still negative. So I get negative 3x, but my next term is going to be a positive because a negative times a negative is a positive. So if I do 3/4 times 16, that becomes positive 12. Okay? Now, the most common mistake made here, because this is negative and it's a fraction, you're so caught up in dealing with the fraction, you forget the negative. I'm going to subtract x from both sides, realizing this is negative 1x, so this becomes negative 4x plus 12. And this has a 4. I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. Negative 8 equals negative 4x. Divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4, x equals 2. Okay? Now, let's compare this to number 11. Now, for number 11, I have no choice but to clear this equation of fractions. I'm not going to get rid of them by distributing. There's not just one, there's 3. So the easiest thing for me to do is multiply by the common denominator, and I have to be careful that I distribute to every term. So 12 times 1/2 is 6x. 12 times 2 is 24, divided by 3 is 8. And this becomes 9. I subtract 8 from both sides. 6x equals 1. Divide by 6, divide by 6. X equals 1/6. Okay. Now, let's look at number 7. Now, for number 7, I could multiply every single term by 8. But I think what would be easier is to first subtract 12 from both sides. And now I could multiply both sides by 8. These cancel out. I get 5x equals 40. Divide by 5, divide by 5, x equals 8. That's one way to do it. I could have multiplied by the reciprocal of 8/5. If I do that, I end up with x equals 8 in one step. But it depends, this is personal preference. Some of you would prefer to always multiply by the common denominator, and that would be fine in this case. Now, let's look at number 12. I distribute everything. And then I combine like terms. 2x and 3x is 5x. Negative 2 and negative 6 is negative 8. Subtract 5x from both sides. Oops, that's a minus. I get negative 8 equals 1. So the variable has disappeared. When the variable disappears, now I look and decide if this is true or false. This is false, so that means there is no solution. Okay? In number 13, in that case, we will lose the variable but end up with a true statement, so that will be all real numbers.